Good afternoon, everyone. This is ARK, A Rose Knows, the raw reality, Ruby Red, uncut, and I'm back to share something else. Hope everyone is doing okay today, and I would like to express my gratitude to all of my new subscribers, those that are interacting with my content, and those that are continuing on to follow up with updated information. All right, so I felt compelled to share um, a very cherishable moment. Okay, I would definitely like to acknowledge my daughter, Cedria L. Roberts, because if it wasn't for her, my very first memoir would not be on its way to being released very soon. And I'm feeling those butterflies because it's getting closer and closer and closer to that time. So, before I begin, I want to say this. I am definitely, definitely feeling like I'm being attacked, but in more like an amusing type of way, because I mentioned for many years that I enjoyed reading and writing. As a matter of fact, it's my passion, and I've been doing it since I was a little kid. But that's really all college is about. It's a bunch of reading, writing, studying, homework. I mean, they really about to kill me with this homework. Um, so much reading, so much writing, but it's definitely not going to interrupt my passion. I'm still going to do what I love to do, okay? All right, so let's get to it. So, um, originally, I may have shared bits and pieces on here about this, I'm not sure, but I began my memoir over 15 years ago. I will actually say that in the terms of my journals and me taking my personal notes, whether they were mental or written, it all started even before that. But once I had arrived here in the West Coast, and especially once I started going through the stuff that we did as a family, it basically um, in, motivated me to start keeping little bits and pieces of information here and there, even more so. Um, because I felt that, okay, one day I'm really going to turn this into a book. So then when 2010 hit, I just had the inspiration to get started. I was like, okay, let me just start this. So I came up with introduction, I came up with certain chapters, what I wanted them to be titled. Just kind of got an overall gist of how I wanted to get things going. Well, 2011, 2012, and I was writing like bits and pieces here and there, chapters, whatever, gathering up information, and life got to life, and so I put the entire memoir aside. Now, 2015, okay, 2015 came, and I believe my daughter Cedria was 15. She definitely was not grown; she was a teenager, and one night we were just sitting around conversating. And so she asked me, "Where is the book?" And I was like, "Huh?" She was like, "Where is the book?" I said, "It's in my room upstairs somewhere." She said, "Go get it." I thought she was joking. Now I knew that my children have always been aware of my writing talent and my creativity and my unique way of expressing things. I didn't think she was serious about me getting the book, but she was. As a matter of fact, she wouldn't even continue on with our conversation. She was like, "Mom, go get the book." And just so you guys will know, my daughter is very, very forthcoming. Like once she's feeling something, like nothing is going to get in her way. Like she's really going to be adamant on you doing whatever it is that she's asking for you to do. So in this case, Mom, go get the book. So I was like, "Are you serious?" So I went upstairs and luckily I found the book probably within 15, 20 minutes. Came back downstairs, sat at the dining room table. She said, "Okay." She said, let's get some more chapters written," because she saw where I had left off at like chapter 4, I think. She was like, let's get some more chapters written. I said, are you serious? She said, yeah. How are you going to make this book a reality if you don't finish it? And I said, girl, it's going to take me a long time to finish this book, especially with all the stuff that has, that we had encountered as a family. There was just no way I was going to finish it like that. She said, but you can write a little bit at a time until it is complete. I mean, you have to make time for what you want. My daughter is very, very wise. Um, and so I did. I took her advice, and I think I wrote like 3 or 4 chapters while we were talking, maybe 6. Anyway, the point is, I was encouraged to get that book out and just start writing my chapters. And we did this every night for probably 6 months or longer. But then, of course, life got to life in. I started school and I began to be more preoccupied with my homework and etc. Pretty much like I am now. But my determination, my motivation, my inspiration, and my strength is so much better now than it was back then. Um, Around chapter 16 or so, I began to put the book aside again. And long story short, thanks to COVID, this is no disrespect to those that were lost. I mean, my heart really goes out to those. I think about them almost every day, even though I don't know them, because it was such a sad, sad, sad situation. But because due to the COVID shutdown, I wasn't working, my children weren't in school, there was nothing really going on. I was bored. So I was like, you know what? Now will be the perfect opportunity to finish my book. And I did. And I did. And I didn't even have my own personal laptop back then or nothing, but I used my children's laptops and I learned how to email my story to myself, made copies of it at Staples, paid $75 to do that. And I continued to stay on it. And the book was finished. So I'm saying this to merely state, don't give up. I don't care what your passion is. I don't care what your dreams are, what you envision, what even your fantasies are, what your hopes are, what your prayers are about. Do not give up, because really, really, really soon you're going to be reading everything about my blood, sweat, and tears, okay? And this is only volume 1, so I still got 2, 3, but I've already almost finished with volume 2 and beginning volume 3. So there is actually 5 volumes to this thing. And like I mentioned before, I've also done children books, fiction novels. So I got a long ways to go, but this will be the start. And I'm so excited. And like I said, I'm feeling those butterflies. But let this be a tool of motivation, encouragement, and inspiration. Finish what you start. You just never know what opportunities lie ahead. And in route of another video that I did, I think a few weeks ago, don't worry about what people say. Yeah, I got some negative feedback about what I'm trying to do, but do I care? No. I didn't get a lot though. Most people are for it. They can't wait. They can't wait till it's out so they can read it. But I would say, yeah, the haters were like, girl, don't nobody want to read that crap, blah, 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 blah. Nobody's going to want to, know this, know that. I don't care. I have the confidence within myself that I'm going to be straight, okay? Actually, past that. So remember, don't give up. All right. So if you like this video, please hit like, share, or subscribe. And again, I thank all my new subscribers and have a beautiful, beautiful rest of your afternoon. All right. See you in the next one.